Good evening to all. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this webinar on awareness on energy conservation, hosted by Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Francis Xavier Engineering College, Tirunelveli. On behalf of our management and on behalf of our EEE department, I welcome you all for this webinar. Dr. P.S. Manoharan received BE degree in Electrical and Electronics Engineering and ME Power System Engineering from Tyagaraja College of Engineering, Madurai. He has been awarded PhD in the Faculty of Electrical Engineering from Anna University, Chennai in 2009. He has more than 20 years of teaching experience and a life member in ISTE and a member in IEEE. He has published 77 international journals and presented articles in 50 international level and 40 national level conferences. At present, he is serving as Associate Professor in Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Tyagaraja College of Engineering, Madurai. He is a recognized research supervisor in Anna University and guided 12 research scholars completed their PhD under his guidance, and 10 scholars are pursuing PhD. His research area includes soft computing, power system operation control, intelligent controllers, and renewable energy systems. He has written many books in electrical domain, and some of the books are cited as a reference book in University of Kerala and University of Calicut. He is the active reviewer of 17 international journals like IEEE, IET, Elsewhere, etc. And he is a committee member of 10 international conferences. He received more than 80 lakhs grant from funding agencies like AICT, SERP, UGC, etc. for carrying out their research activities. We have the sourceful resource person to deliver the guest lecture. On behalf of our management and on behalf of our EEE department, I welcome Dr. P.S. Manoharan to deliver the webinar on awareness on energy conservation.
Good evening, friends. First of all, I would like to thank for giving this opportunity to the chairman of Francis Xavier Engineering College, Principal Dr. Velmurugan, Head of the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering Department, Dr. Anna Pandi, and the coordinators of this webinar, Dr. Ravi, Mr. David Sadiraj, and Mrs. Karpuravalli. Today, we will focus on topic awareness on energy conservation. And the energy conservation is very essential in the current scenario. Today we can learn about what is the energy conservation and what is the need of energy conservation, and how can we save the energy in our home, office, colleges, or industry. So, what is energy conservation? The energy conservation is the decision and practice of low amount of energy. We can use less energy. For example, turning off the light and fan when you leave the room, and unplugging the appliances when they are not in use, like that. So, what is the need of energy conservation? To minimize the global warming, and the second one is to reduce your energy bills, and to earn a accrued return on investment in the industries, and to maximize the profit by minimizing the energy losses. So what is the current scenario? It is a satellite picture, Earth at night. In some area are brightened, and in some area are in darkness. And this is Africa. So fully darkness is there. So in the night time, they are not working. So the industries are in the closed condition. So this is our India. So India is very bright. So this meaning is, so industries are working at the night also. So what is the world energy generation by source? The coal is thermal energy 38.3%, and gas 23%, and hydro 16.3%, nuclear 10%, solar, wind, like the renewable energy 7%, oil 3%, and other ocean energy 2%. So what is reserve? Now we are using the maximum thermal energy, coal, oil, and gas we are using to generate the energy. And what is the resource in hand? In the coal, global reserve is 861 billion tons. Resource to production ratio is only 120 years of the present consumption rate. And what about the oil reserve? 1669 billion barrels. The resource to production ratio is only 42 years. The gas is 187 trillion cubic meter. The reserve to production ratio is only 60 years. So after 120 years, there is no coal in hand. After 42 years, there is no oil. After 60 years, there is no gas in hand. So what about our Indian scenario? The reserve of coal in our India is only 7% in the global level. The coal reserve is United States having 28%, Russia having 18%, and the rest of the world 20%. Our India only 7% we are having. And world oil reserve, Middle East 50%, and South Africa, America, and Central America 20%, North America 20%. What about our India? Only 0.3% we are having oil reserve. In Asia, only 3%. In that, India only we are having only 0.3%. But we are using the more energy. So India is the fifth largest energy consumer in the world. First one is US, next China, Japan, Russia, and the fifth one is India. Now we are having the 46% of thermal coal energy, and 34% of oil, and 20% of renewable energy. That is shown here. Coal 46, and petroleum 34, natural gas 7%, and electricity from nuclear, hydro, and other renewable sources is 13%. So estimated reserve of coal in India 319 billion ton only, and estimated reserve of crude oil 595 million ton. and in Tamil Nadu only 2% we are having. The most of oil in the western offshore, and now Tamil Nadu we are having only 2% only. So what about the estimated resource of natural gas in India? So in eastern offshore, 38% of 1340 billion cubic meter, and in Tamil Nadu we are having only 3% of this. So what is the meaning of this scenario? We are having very less oil, very less coal, and very less gas in India. On the 280 gigawatt power, 200 gigawatt of thermal we are using, and renewable energy only we are very less amount of renewable energy we are having. In that renewable power, we are having solar energy 68% and wind energy 28%, and other small hydropower, biomass, cogeneration is only 4%. But what about our Indian power demand? Every year it is increasing. So we are this is a growing country. So automatically in this year our demand also increasing. So who are the consumers of the electricity in India? So for example, total consumption of 11,000, 30,000 gigawatt hour. Most of the power used in the industry only. And then second one is domestic, and the third one is agriculture, and next one is commercial, and traction, and other sectors consume the energy 6%. So now the demand is high, but the electricity generation fuel is very less. So what can we do for that? Why do need to save energy? If you are not saving the energy, automatically the petrol and the diesel price is increasing. In the lockdown period also, the petrol and the diesel price is now increasing now. And the depletion of fossil fuel, petrol, diesel, and coal. And third one is the electricity prices rise. Because of the oil, automatically electricity price also rising. And we feel the shortage of energy also. So you can in the power cut areas, in power cut regions, you cannot study, you cannot work. So anything is not possible without power. So this is the energy outlook in India. So India is with the 17.5% of global population, but 0.5% of world petroleum reserve, and only 7% of coal reserve we are having. So we have to save the energy and save the fuel. So if you are not saving the energy, you have to face the global warming and electricity price hike. So we have to see one by one. The first one is the global warming. What is global warming? Automatically we know very well about the increase in the average temperature of the Earth's surface. Why? And the carbon dioxide and other pollutants and greenhouse gases collect in the atmosphere and absorb sunlight. And solar radiation that have bounced off the Earth's surface. So normally this radiation would escape into the space, but these pollutants and the carbon dioxide trap the heat and cause the planet to get very hotter. So why? The pollutants from the coal, natural gas, from the industries, and the cars. So we are burning of fossil fuels, automatically the pollutants also increasing. so it doesn't radiate, so automatically the heat will increase in our earth. So due to this temperature increase, we are facing so many problems. This is one example of the greenhouse effect. You imagine you close all the windows of your car and sun's energy passes through the car's windshield. The heat is trapped inside the car and cannot pass back through the windshield, causing the temperature of the temperature inside the car is increasing automatically. So, okay, the due to global warming, the heat is increasing, the temperature is increasing. So, any proof is there? So, this is a proof. We are going to see 4 or 5 proofs here. In Alaska, Portage Glacier melts faster and faster at the bottom, shortening the glacier and reducing its mass. So ultimately, the melted water flows into streams and rivers and ends up in the ocean. So increase the sea level. So this is the difference between the 1914 and 2004. The second one is example is the Arctic in 1980 and 2012. So due to the effect of global warming, so air and water temperature is increasing. So it melts the ice and rising the sea level. And this is another one example in California, Auroville. So 2011 and 2014 photos are shown here. The level of the water down and down. So we can feel this climate change in our rivers also, in Indian rivers also. And this is a snow meltdown in the polar region. And due to this global warming, we are facing this flood and water crisis also and drought. Okay, what can you do to help to solve this problem? So we can save the energy, automatically we can solve the problem. So save the energy to save the earth. It is a social problem. So we can avoid the global warming, acid rain, snow meltdown, and sea level rise. So what is another idea? How can we reduce our emissions? We can go for the renewable energy sources, solar energy, wind power, and we can use the e-vehicle, electrical vehicle. So we can save the energy. And the second one is our energy cost hike. So every year the electricity bill will increase. Okay, we know very well about that. This is a comparison of energy cost in other countries. After the Japan, we are paying more money per unit. Unit means kilowatt hour. So per kilowatt hour average, we are paying now 5 rupees. Why high energy costs? Now we are paying. We are importing the petroleum products. We are importing the coal because our Indian coal having low calorific value. That is why we importing coal from Indonesia and Australia. So automatically the fuel cost will increasing, automatically the energy cost also increasing. And the government, some state government giving the subsidy to the agriculture consumer and domestic consumer also. In Tamil Nadu, up to 100 unit, there is no paisa. So this is an example of cost of ownership. If using the 40 watts tube light per year for 10-hour operation, daily operation, it comes around 1000 rupees, 900 to 1000 rupees. And you are using the 1.5 ton window air conditioner for fiber operation, daily operation, you have to pay the 15,000 per year. So likewise, we are paying more money. Many students are attending this webinar. That is why I have to explain the energy consumption of the home appliances. If you take the ceiling fan in your home, it consumes 60 to 70 watts. The ceiling fan is 60 watts. So with the regulator, resistive regulator, it consumes 70 watts. So for 10-hour operation, it consumes 0.6 units per day. You can take the tube light watts is 40 watts. Otherwise, you are using the 36 watts tube lights. For the 7-hour operation in the night time, so per day, 0.3 units you are consuming. If you are having the refrigerator of 500 watts, so it consumes 5 units per day. You are having a 1.5 to 1 ton, 1.10, 2 ton AC you are having in your home. It consumes 1500 to 2500 watts. If you are running for 6 hours per day, so automatically the units are 9 to 15 units. If you are using the TV for 2 to 3 hours, automatically the consumption is 0.5 units. If you use the water heater for half an hour, it consumes 1 unit. If you are using the water pump, water motor in your home, 1 HP motor for 2 hours, it consumes 1.5 units per day. Like major energy consumers in your home or in our institution or in your office, air conditioners, computers, and then the computer UPS, fans, lights, water pumps, and motors. In industries, they are using so many drives, motors. Now we can see one by one how can we save the energy, how can we conserve the energy. The first one is we can take the air conditioners. So in the air conditioners, you have to measure always the temperature of supply air and return air, and you compare with the peer one. You have to measure the all ACs and find out this is a good one or bad one. So you have to find out, and you have to prepare the split air conditioner instead of window AC. Ensure proper functioning of thermostat in the AC. So insulate all the walls and ceiling. Clean air filters and maintain the AC at regular interval. So use the air curtain. For the ideal temperature in India, you can set 24 degree is enough. In the summer, you can decrease 1 or 2 degree. That's all. So when you are using the split air conditioner instead of air conditioner, you have to save energy. Why we are preferring the split air conditioner? Window AC consumes 1.5 times current when compared to the split AC of the same capacity. They have poor efficiency with high grill temperature, which makes them to run a longer to make room cooler. And now use of R22 refrigerant gas is being banned in India. So in window ACs, they are using the R22 refrigerant gas. So that is why we are recommending to go for the split AC. Though air leakage is very important, so seal all air leakages in the windows, doors. You can use the air curtain. You see this type of air curtain in malls and jewelry shops and cinema theaters. The next one is the computer, because now most of the software companies using the computers. They are using the two type of UPS, online UPS and the offline UPS. So switch off the UPS when non-use period. So when switch off the online UPS and offline UPS, you can save more energy. And the second point is, we know very well, replace this CRT monitor with the LED monitor. A computer that runs 24 hours per day, for example, it uses more energy than a refrigerator. If your computer must be left on, turn off the monitor, but this device alone uses more half of the system energy. Therefore, setting the computer's monitors to sleep down mode when not in use. So automatically you can save more energy. So this is our recommendation for power saving mode of computers. For the sleep mode of monitor in 3 minutes, sleep mode of the hard disk in 10 minutes, and the processor sleep mode in 15 minutes. You can set this timing, so automatically it will go off and you can save the energy. The next one is the ceiling fan, and fans consumes 60 to 70 watts of power in houses, offices, industries. In all the places we are using the fans. Now, for the energy conservation, you can use the energy efficient fans, that is a BLDC fan. And next point is preferring the ceiling fan than a pedestal fan. Pedestal fan consumes more power. Then second point is replace the conventional resistive regulators with the electronic regulators for ceiling. When it resistive regulator consumes more power than the electronic regulator. Conventional resistive regulator consumes 10 watts, means electronic regulator consumes only 1 to 2 watts. So install exhaust fan at a higher elevation than ceiling fan, and maintaining the fans at regular interval. Use the correct size of the fan for the correct room size, and keep minimum 1 feet clearance from ceiling always. And use energy efficient fan, that is a 5-star rated BLDC ceiling fan is recommending. These are the companies, famous companies in India. Superfan and Gorilla and OCCO. Now I want to show one video. Now I present a video of one video for the BLDC fan and one video for the HVLS fan. So this is a BLDC fan. So we can use the remote to operate. It is having the on button and the off button. So for the speed regulations, it is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on button. Timer also available. You can fix the time 1 hour, 2 hour, and 3 hours like that. So it is having the speed regulation. You can use the turbo also. So you need high speed, you can use the turbo also. And in some fans, there are some LED lights also available. So for the aged people, this type of remote is very, very useful. In the bed itself, you can sleep and then use the remote and switch off the fan and switch off the fan. So it is very useful, but the cost is somewhat high, but we can get a payback period easily. I will explain now. This is a video of HVLS. So this HVLS fans is used in the industries, auditorium, uh, uh, big halls. So the size of this fan is 16 feet to 24 feet are available. It covers the area up to 2000 square feet, but the consumption is very, very less. 1.5 HP or 2 HP motor is using. Now we can see how can calculate the payback period. So the cost of the energy efficient fan is high. It is around 2,800 to 3,000. But you can get payback within a year or 1.5 year. For example, 100 numbers of 65 watts conventional ceiling fans in an industry are replaced by 35 watts energy efficient fan to reduce the energy bill. Now the BLDC fans are available with 28 watts, 30 watts and 35 watts depending on the company. The cost is around 2,800 to 3,000. So now we calculating the payback period. Now I am taking the power consumption of the conventional fan is 65 watts. The energy efficient BLDC fan is 35 watts. Therefore, the power saving is 30 watts per fan. Energy saving per day is 30 watts into 20 hours. This is industry, that is why I am taking for 20 hours. So 600 watt hour. Energy saving per month is the 600 watt hour is multiplied by 30 days. So you get 18,000 watt hour. It is converted into kilowatt hour divided by 1000, 18 kilowatt hour. That is 18 units per month. Total energy saving for 100 fans. We are calculating for 100 fans. That is why it is coming around 1800 units. So energy cost per month is we are paying 10 rupees per unit tariff rate in the industries. For example, we are taking, that is why 18,000 cost is saving per month. Now, what is our investment? We investing 2,800 per fan for 100 fan. That is why 2.8 lakhs we are investing for the new fans. So calculate the payback period 2.8 lakhs divided by 18,000 energy saving. So approximately within 15 months you can get the payback. So after the 15 months it is free. So we are saving the energy very well. And next we can go for lighting. We are using the filament lamp, fluorescent, that is a tube light and the CFL and LED nowadays. In the lights, lumens per watt is very, very important. The conventional tube lights are 68 lumens per watt and 5-star tube lights are 90 lumens per watt. If you are purchasing a China product, LED tube light or any bulb, the lumens per watt is very, very less. The cost is less, but at the same time, it is not the warranty one. At the same time, lumens per watt is very, very low. That is why you have to buy the company product. And the next point, we are using the 0 watts lamp in your bedroom, bathroom, and puja room. We are using, but actually the 0 watts lamp is actually consumes 15 watts. This is a filament lamp. The operating hours is very, very low. Instead of this 0 watts, that is a 15 watts filament lamp, you can use this 1 watt or 0.5 watt LED lamp. The operating hours also very, very high comparing to this conventional filament lamp. So in your house, if nowadays now you are using this 15 watts filament lamp, means please replace with the 1 watts or 0.5 watts LED. Not the tube light. We are using the LED street lights and LED focus lights in all the places. Now, maximum most of the corporation are replaced by the LED street light. So not only the tube light, in all the decorative lights, we are using the LEDs. The lamp efficiency comparison with the incandescent bulb with the LED bulb, the wattage is 40 watts, CFL is 9 and LED is 7 watts we are taking. For example, the lumens is 550 lumens and CFL also 550, LED is 400. But lumens per watt, the efficacy is 14 lumens per watt for the incandescent lamp, but 57 lumens per watt LED lamp. So we can use the LED lamp in place of CFL also. Now in most of the electrical shops, there is CFL lamps are not available nowadays. So only they are selling the LED lamps. So use the LED tube light, company product tube lights you can use. Use a mirror optic reflector in the office lamps and periodically clean it. Wall paint, the color of the paint used in the rooms is very important. A dark paint reduces the illumination level. So try to use the maximum sunlight. If you use the LED lamp instead of the incandescent lamp, you are saving the energy. At the same time, you are avoiding the carbon dioxide pollution also. So you are saving the fuel and you are saving the energy cost also. You are helping the nation also. So now we can calculate the payback period for the LED tube light. You are taking 100 numbers of 40 watts fluorescent tube light, conventional tube light, replaced by 20 watts LED tube light. The cost of this LED tube light is 400 rupees. The energy bill cost per unit is 10 rupees. Now calculate the payback period. So what is the power saving? Conventional tube light is 40 watts and 20 watts LED bulb. So the power saving is 20 watts. I am taking 8 hours duration. So 20 watts into 8 hours, 160 watt hour. That is the energy per light. So calculate the energy saving per month for 30 days. It is around 4.8 kilowatt hour. That is 4.8 units. Now calculate the 100 number of tube light. It is around 480 units. So energy cost saving per month is, the energy bill rate is, energy cost is 10 rupees per unit. That is why 480 kilowatt hour and into multiply by the 10. So 4,800 rupees is a saving. But now we are investing more amount. We are investing 400 rupees per tube light. We purchased 100 tube light, therefore it is around 40,000. So the payback period is 40,000 divided by the 4,800. So approximately within 8 months you get payback. So after 8 months it is free. The energy cost is 0. So if we are purchasing a BLDC fan, energy efficient fan or energy efficient tube light or energy efficient AC, always the investment is somewhat high, but you can get payback period within a year surely. So the next point is you can use the lighting control. So automatic lighting control is possible using the PIR sensor, occupancy sensor, timer control also available. And all the street lights are on off by the timer control only. Photo control switch you can use. Dimmer we can use in the hospital laboratories. And another one point to conserve energy is marking of the light and fan and switches is very important. If any unknown person coming into the room and switch on all the switches, he need only one light, but he switch on all the lights and all the fans. So to avoid this labeling, like this, you can labeling. This is a L1, L2, L3, like that labeling tube light. In switchboard also, you can mark it L1, L2, L3. So particular to switch on the particular tube light, anyone use the particular switch. So here, this is the PIR sensor shown here. So PIR sensor is used in a library. So always these lights are in off condition. When one person enters into this rack to take the book here, so automatically PIR sensor sense here and automatically the lights will on. After he leave off this library, automatically the tube light will goes off. So we can conserve more energy in this type of area, library, toilets, and some common places in veranda. The next one is the occupancy sensor. Occupancy sensors are mostly used in the offices. In the daytime, the lights are on in off condition. One person coming to the office and doing the work, but the lights in the off condition because of the daytime. In the night time, now nobody is in the room, so light is in off condition. Now one person entering to the room and doing the work, so automatically the light will on. So after completing the work, he leave the hall, so automatically the light off. Not only in the light we can operate the light, fan, AC, anyone we can control using these sensors. So in case of lighting, use the right light at right place at right time. We can conserve more energy. So use the sunlight if available. Next, we are going to see some electrical appliances, a geyser, pump, refrigerator, and so on. In the electrical pump, commonly we are using the jet pump. This is a jet pump and this is a compressor pump we are using. But these are inefficient only. So instead of you can use the submersible, you can save 25 to 50% of power. So instead of jet or compressor pump, use submersible pump. If you can save more power. So if drip irrigation is possible, install the drip irrigation and install a new individual pump for the individual building and replace the any leaking taps. You can conserve the water at the same time conserve power also. So avoid of mineral water, any washing purpose, use only for the drinking purpose. So install automatic water level controller in the water tank. In the water tank, the float is there. When the float reaches the particular level, so automatically this electronic relay is working and switch off the water pump. So when you are using the automatic water level controller, you can save the water at the same time save the power also. You can use this water level controller in all places, home, offices, industries, in all the places you can use. So next one is the refrigerator. So our recommendation is purchase star rating refrigerator and cool food to room temperature before keeping that refrigerator, and check the gasket lining or damaged or not, any leakage is there, and check the functioning of auto defrost control, and cooling pins should be kept open subject to a free airflow, and leave enough space between the refrigerator and the walls so that air can easily circulate around the refrigerator, the temperature will decrease. the outside. And don't open the door frequently, and don't leave the fridge door open for a long time, and use smaller cabinets for storing frequently used items. And the main recommendation is purchase the star rated refrigerator or star rated washing machine also. So use the washing machine with full load or 80% of load. So don't use dryer in the summer. Use optimal quantity of water, and timers facility is very useful to save the energy. So use the correct amount of detergent. If you use the large amount of detergent, so automatically water consumption is high, automatically power consumption will increase. So use the hot water only for dirty clothes. So always use the cold water. The next one is the water heater. Water heater, we know very well we can use the solar water heater instead of the filament water heater. So you can get payback within 2 or 3 years, definitely. And maintain this water heater at regular interval. So descale the water heater vessel once in a year and check the thermostat. But you can install the combined electric filament heater and the solar water heater. In the summer, the solar water heater is working well. In the winter, the light insolation is somewhat less comparing to the summer. So automatically the filament water heater will on, and it consumes energy and it give the hot water always. So automatically the solar water heater we are using. So the sun rays automatically increase the temperature up to a level, say 60%, 60 degrees Celsius or 70 degrees Celsius. Your setting point is 90 degrees Celsius, means automatically the filament will on. So when you using the both, so you can get the hot water at regularly. You can get the hot water. So another one recommendation in the voltage maintained in the transformer, we have need not maintain the voltage at 415 voltage. So you can optimize the voltage level depend upon the appliances you are using in your industries. It is not useful for the home. When the industries or institution, we adjust the tape position in the transformer, we can decrease the voltage level and we can conserve more energy. And it is about the Energy Star labeling. The Energy Star rating is the Government of India initiative to promote energy conservation in India from 2006. So the Energy Star rating is for all electrical appliances like refrigerator, tube light, AC, fan, induction motor, pump set, geysers, the transformer, TV. In all are having the energy rating 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5-star rating. So in the labeling, it denotes the rating and also energy consumption per year also denoted. So it is an international standard for energy efficient consumer products. This Energy Star is a trusted government-backed symbol for energy efficiency, helping us all save money and protect the environment through energy efficient products and practices. The Energy Star labeling is describing the energy performance in the form of energy use, in the form of energy costs. Label mainly give consumers the necessary information when purchasing any equipments. So two types of labelings are there. One is the comparative label, another one is the endorsement label. The comparative label allow consumers to compare the energy consumption of similar products and factor lifetime running costs into their purchasing decision. Endorsement label provide a certification to inform the prospective purchasers that the product is highly energy efficient for its category. So what are the advantages of this energy rating are? They can produce very large energy saving, cost effective and helpful at limiting energy growth without limiting economic growth. They treat all manufacturers, distributors, retailers equally. The resulting energy saving are generally assured and verified. They not only save energy, but also save money and improve the product quality. So these are the recommendations for the energy conservation in the electrical appliances, in fan, light, geyser, refrigerator, and transformer. But in many industries, in big industries and institutions, energy audit is very, very important. So energy auditor and energy manager will audit the company and will they ask question what, where, why you are using this equipment, and they give the recommendation to the management, and they can take action depend upon their recommendation, and then only they can conserve more energy. So energy auditing is very, very important in industry. Okay, so we can conserve energy in all the electrical appliances, in home, offices, industry, in any places. So energy conservation is helping you and helping the society also. Nowadays, the sensor, most of the sensor, motion sensor and the PIR sensor is used in for the smart home. So sensor-based control is very, very helpful in future. Now I present one video. This is a video about the smart home.
Welcome home. All right, let's get to work. Hey, Rome, are you freaking out? No. Yes, you are. Should somebody just. Good night.
So save energy, save money, and save the nation. Okay. Once again, thanks to management of Francis Xavier Engineering College and you participants also. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. It's time to show the gratitude. I'd like to thank God Almighty for His guidance and support in organizing this webinar. I'd like to thank the resource person for his wonderful speech. I'd like to thank the college management, the chairman, vice chairperson, managing director, general manager, principal, and all the M team people for their continuous support. I'd like to thank Dr. P. Annapandi, Head of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, for his motivation and support. I'd like to thank the fellow coordinators, Dr. A. Ravi, Mr. J. Anthony Robinson, for their dedication and hard work. I'd like to thank all the participants for their involvement and active participation in this event. Thank you.